The stars above Haven 3 were gentle that evening. A serene blue world cradled by twin moons, its seas aglow with evening phosphorescence. Children laughed beneath glass domes. Miners returned from the silver ridges, and the sky shimmered with the slow drift of orbital freighters. Then, the sky burned. Without warning, 11 warships of the Karth Dominion fell upon the colony like carrion beasts. They came not with words or demands, only plasma and contempt. Their broadcasts flooded every channel. Human settlement detected. No authorization, no tribute. By decree of the Dominion, this infestation will be cleansed. The bombardment began in silence. Then came screams. The Karth ships struck from orbit, their cannons lancing through cities like divine wrath. Towers crumbled, oceans boiled. The colony's defense grid, a few patrol frigates and outdated point defense satellites, barely managed a signal burst before vanishing in a flash of white. From the command bridge of the Dominion flagship Vareth, Admiral Zalok watched through the viewport as the surface of Haven 3 fractured into magma veins. "Efficient," said his second, scales glinting under the crimson light. "Humans expand like vermin," Zalok replied, folding his arms behind his back. "They build, they breed, they pollute. The Council warned them, and they ignored. Consider this: education. A survivor's transmission barely escaped the system. A shaky human voice drenched in static. This is Haven 3. Civilian population, 8 million souls, under attack. No warning. Oh God, The transmission ended in fire. The Dominion fleet left orbit hours later, leaving behind a dead world, and a message burned into its surface in molten rock: yield or vanish. The Feast of Arrogance. In the vaulted halls of the Dominion's capital world, Karthla, the admirals and ministers celebrated their triumph. The chamber's air shimmered with incense and pride. Zalok stood at the head of the table, holding a chalice of blood wine. His voice was low, proud, and dripping with contempt. "Humanity's colonies grow faster than their wisdom," he declared to the assembly. "They have forgotten their place, a species of farmers and traders pretending to be warriors. Their end was overdue." Laughter rolled through the chamber. Some spoke of dividing Earth's remaining colonies among the Dominion's noble houses. Others suggested enslaving survivors. Their engineers and medics would make excellent laborers. None spoke of retaliation. The humans, after all, were still young. Their fleets small, their weapons primitive, their governments too fractured for unified vengeance. Earth's diplomats had spent decades preaching peace, trade, coexistence. The Dominion had mistaken mercy for weakness. They toasted again. Zalok's adjutant leaned close, voice amused. "If they send envoys, Admiral, shall we let one live, to remind them what we could do again?" Zalok smiled, slow and reptilian. "Let them come. Let them see the futility. Perhaps then they will kneel." But no envoys came. For 12 standard days the galaxy watched and waited. No outrage, no declarations, no retaliation. The humans said nothing. The news feeds mocked their silence. The Dominion High Council declared the human problem resolved. Silence became their certainty. The stillness before the storm, it began quietly. A whisper through the void. Dominion patrols near human space started vanishing. A trade convoy reported seeing lights along the edge of the Persean Rift. Cold, silent, enormous silhouettes drifting between the stars. No response from hails. No transponder codes, just ghost signals. Then came the first wreckage. A Dominion cruiser, gutted, floating dead. Its hull bore no scorch marks, no signs of battle. Just precision. Engines removed, bridge excised, crew missing. Only one thing remained: the ship's nameplate welded backward into the metal. "We remember Haven." Zalok dismissed the reports as coincidence. "Pirates, perhaps. Rogue human cells. Earth has no navy capable of such precision," he told his council. They could barely defend a colony, but his voice trembled slightly when he said it. Soon, Dominion sensor stations went dark. Communications relays failed. Entire border garrisons fell silent. When they finally re-established link with Outpost 47, all they received was a single burst transmission. 10 seconds long. "They're not human anymore." And then, nothing, fool. The silence breaks. 2 weeks later, the storm broke. Every major Dominion fleet base within 30 light-years of human space was hit simultaneously. It began with the stars themselves darkening. Massive objects, unseen until too late, blotted out sensor arrays. Then, from the void, they arrived. The first to see them were the crews of the Karth Border Command. They recorded the event before their annihilation. A fleet of shapes blacker than space. Vast and silent, emerging from folded light. Not traditional ships, not in the way the galaxy understood. They moved like predators, fluid and deliberate, and their insignia glowed cold white against obsidian hulls. United Human Defense Command. This is Fleet Admiral Leon Mercer, commanding officer of Task Force Retribution, a voice transmitted across all known channels. To the Dominion, your crime has been noted. Your sentence is execution. Then came the screams, human dreadnoughts, the Titan-class Leviathans, unleashed weapons no Dominion physicist had ever conceived. Kinetic strikes so powerful they tore moons apart. Orbital rail cannons firing slugs at near-light velocity. Plasma lances that carved continents from orbit. Entire fleets blinked out of existence in minutes. Dominion commanders tried to rally. They never got the chance, one by one. Their flagships vanished under precise, coordinated strikes. Not chaos, not rage, retribution. Every human ship bore the same call-sign prefix, Haven's Vengeance. The fall of the Dominion word spread like wildfire through the galactic networks. The humans had unleashed something new, something that had been waiting. For generations, Earth's peace had been their mask. While the galaxy mocked their restraint, humanity had been building. Hidden shipyards in the Oort shadows, quantum weapon arrays, AI-directed fleets. Entire war doctrines developed in silence, stored in cryovaults under the Antarctic crust, activated only by one signal. Colony destroyed. When Haven 3 fell, that signal was sent. Now, it was too late to stop. The Dominion's great fleets, hundreds strong, engaged the human armada over 3 systems. Only fragments returned. The survivors spoke of horrors. Drones that regenerated mid-battle, missiles that learned their targets' evasions, soldiers descending from orbit clad in armor that could walk through plasma fire. The Dominion's communications collapsed into chaos. Reports of human incursions came from every sector. Even Karthla, the capital world, shuddered under orbital assault. Zaylock watched the destruction unfold from his flagship's observation deck. The void before him burned with streaks of light. Human bombardment patterns, forming precise geometric patterns in space, like sigils of vengeance. "They're erasing us," whispered his adjutant. "Impossible," Zaylock hissed. Their fleets were counted. Their numbers? A voice cut through the comms, deep and calm. "You counted our ships. You never counted our dead." Zaylock froze. The voice wasn't human speech. It was transmitted directly, encoded, translated for him. The humans had learned their language, and then the Vereth's hull split open, cut cleanly in two by an unseen weapon. The day the suns went dark, for every world the Dominion burned, humanity answered 1,000-fold. The human fleets advanced system by system, not conquering, purging. Civilian worlds were spared if they surrendered. Military installations vanished without trace. The Karth home system, once a beacon of arrogance, became a graveyard. Human dreadnoughts ringed its primary star and deployed black mirror arrays, weapons that turned the light of the sun inward, rendering the system in eternal eclipse. Karthla's sky went black, and from orbit descended the Terran ground forces, the Angels of Retribution. Encased in matte black exosuits, bearing banners of silver and blue, they moved through the ruined streets in perfect silence. They didn't scream. They didn't boast. They simply executed orders. Zaylock's empire fell not in battle, but in silence. No grand final stand, no glorious resistance. Just quiet acknowledgement that the humans had come, and that nothing could stop them. In the archives of a burning palace, a captured Karth officer recorded the last known Dominion broadcast before the signal faded into static. They don't conquer, they don't occupy, they erase, and they remember everything. 7. The price of silence. When it was over, the stars were quiet again. The Dominion was gone. Its name struck from the galactic registry, its maps wiped clean. Only empty coordinates remained, whispered among smugglers and travelers. The human dead zone. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council convened an emergency summit. Dozens of species attended, trembling. The humans sent no delegate. Instead, a message arrived, transmitted through all frequencies, calm, formal, undeniable. Humanity does not seek war. We seek peace. But know this, for every world you destroy, we will erase your name from memory. For every life you take, we will take your future. We remember Haven 3. We always will. The Council did not reply. Because even across the stars, when they looked toward the Sol system, the blue light of Earth, they felt something ancient staring back, something patient, something that had learned what mercy cost. Vate, the whisper among the stars years passed, trade resumed, the scars of war faded. But in the deep sectors of the galaxy, far from the core worlds, pilots still tell stories of ships that emerge from the void, black as night, bearing the insignia of Earth. They never hail. They never answer. They only watch. Some say they're guardians. Others say they're executioners, waiting for another Haven 3. Whatever they are, every civilization knows the same unspoken truth. Humanity's silence is not peace. It's warning, and those who mistake it for weakness will learn, as the Karth Dominion did, what it means when the humans finally speak, because the day they do, the stars will burn again. Final transmission, recovered from Karth Archive 00Z. We thought their end was near, but when the skies split open and their vengeance fell upon us, we learned the truth. It was never their end coming, it was ours.